What does it do, everybody? We got Spenny, we got Willie, and you may see a new face on the screen here. Jacob Kramer is now joining us for our first Maidenless, No Maiden podcast special interview edition. So I'll kick it off to Spencer, say what's up, and then we'll go to Kramer.
How do you do? I guess bid no do. Let's get right into it. We got former podcaster, former sports podcaster Jacob Kramer on with us. How you doing, Jacob?
I'm doing fucking amazing now that I'm here with you guys. I'm ready for you guys to rip into my fantasy football team and
for those listening at home. Mr. Kramer is an experienced podcaster himself. Him and his buddies would record and probably not stop until they were all asleep because it would be a 3-hour-long episode. So we're pretty excited to have some experience here with us. And we're going to kind of just start jumping right into it probably. And then, Kramer, any words before we kind of start ripping you apart here?
I mean, this is my first guest appearance on a podcast ever. So
okay.
Pretty excited to be on the other end of it, to be honest. So
that's very exciting here. Let me get things situated here. I'm going to share my screen for the group. We're going to get everything going. And what better way to start than looking at your draft? You have the 102 here, Kramer. You see in my screen?
Right.
Let's go through your thought process. Obviously, you got Mahomes is off the board. We already recapped our viewers with what the hell happened with Spence Jong-un and, hijacking the draft in late May. So maybe kind of go through your thought process. Were you always thinking Josh Allen at the 102 or any other QBs on your radar?
It's tough because you got Jalen Hurts in there, right? With obviously the rushing upside, which I would argue Josh Allen has very similar rushing upside. He just doesn't benefit from the tush push as much.
Sure.
But I think he's it's Josh fucking Allen, man. It's just that dude. He'll get it done. He lost Diggs this offseason. He's no longer on my team, coincidentally, but I think he'll get it done again this season.
Obviously. So I'm seeing a trend here now that I look at, Spencer and Mr. Kramer both going for stacks. Obviously, both players are no longer on their team. Was that kind of something you were thinking about originally, or is that kind of just, how the cookies crumbled?
Wait, what do you mean both players are no longer on their teams?
Because you don't have Josh Allen on your team, and then Stephon Diggs is no longer on Buffalo. Mahomes is no longer on Spencer's team.
It's so the year before that, I think Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, Diggs was top 4 wide receiver. Josh Allen was probably the number 1, number 2 QB. It's hard to give up. It's really hard to pass up on a stack like that. Generational duo, if you will. Almost a Peyton Manning, Marvin Harrison type duo.
Wow. Some will say.
Some.
Spencer, as you look at this draft, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you, what is your least favorite pick that he had?
Oh.
What is one thing you look at and you're like, dude, what were you thinking?
Right.
First of all, I'll point out the very good picks. Obviously, Josh Allen, 6'6", 27 years old, QB1 for the next 10 years. Dog. Absolute dog. And then when you look at it, I like the Diggs and I like the Cup picks.
Yep.
Now, I was going to say that was probably one of my
after Cooper Cup. You have JSN.
Who is on the
fourth round?
DK Metcalf was still on the board. Oh, can we talk about Quentin Johnston real quick? Going in the 5th round.
Yeah, we have recapped this board ad nauseum, and it's just, you look at some picks and it's pretty controversial.
DK was still there, Debo was still there, Addison. Jason was never going to start, but
the hype around him, that was pretty good value, I feel like
that. And he's dude, we all saw him in college, bro. He's a dog, but just situation, obviously he wasn't going to start right away, but it could help him in the long run, sitting behind Tyler Lockett is a slot god. And then you got DK Metcalf too. So, and I love Geno Smith. I absolutely love Geno Smith. It's hard not to root for him.
Are you at all worried that he may be out of a job. Are you?
Oh, Geno Smith out of a job? I mean,
yeah.
How old is he? What, he's got to be
I think he's 33, 32. Yeah, and looking at it earlier today, maybe
it's tough. It's going to be tough for Seattle to ride with him because, I mean, he's obviously an older QB that kind of came into his own and started balling out at an older age. I don't know what he's going to be asking for money when his contract's up, but I'm guessing it's not going to be cheap. So,
yeah.
See, Seattle's always drafted really well too, so they'll probably find some stud. Maybe late round.
They found a diamond in the rough with Geno for sure, but a lot of people forget that I still think no matter what happens to Geno, especially this year, he could get hurt week 1, go down for the rest of the season, and I still think that all the Seahawks players will be fine because they got Sam Howell this year.
Yeah, I think that could be a sneaky buy low for some teams needing QBs out there.
Seahawks are not a bad team. They have the weapons around them for a guy like Sam Howell who proved he can actually do stuff with what I think, it's not like super far off, but the Seattle team is more complete than the Washington football team.
Sure. Would have a much better running. Seattle's running game is pretty.
It's just a much more balanced team, so I think that people forget. Like, they have Sam Howell backing up Geno Smith, so I think that no matter what, those guys are safe, and JSN's value only goes up.
I think some people in our league would disagree with you. There's been a lot of Sam Howell discourse over the course
there has been some very passionate managers about Sam Howell's performance.
Been some Sam Howell value opinions. I don't think nobody's down that he can slang that thing.
Yep.
I do like Sam Howell. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the future. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's the future in Seattle.
People forget it's a super flex league. It's a super flex league. So I guess that kind of, recaps the draft. Obviously,
I would
after
like to
the draft.
For the draft, looking back on it, I do not like the Cooper Kupp pick, but it's what it is.
Yeah, we'll touch on that probably going forward. Obviously, I think you were able to offload him off of your squad, so that segues. There were some people that were able to capitalize on that. So I think going forward, let me see if I can get my tabs correctly here. Let's see if this is the right one. Kind of starting with the recap of your trades into the offseason. Obviously, you do a sloppy second swap with Logan. Not much to discuss about there. But then, big bomb happens before the season even begins. Getting rid of that franchise QB, Josh Allen, acquiring Saquon Barkley, Devonta Smith, and Super Bowl future MVP Desmond Ridder. Kind of what was your thought process there? Obviously, going into the season, what were your kind of expectations for Josh Allen? Were you hoping Desmond Ridder would potentially get an extension, or kind of walk us through your thought process?
I mean, Josh Allen's obviously a stud. I'm a huge Saquon Barkley guy. I have been since he came into the league. Dude, he's been so sick. I actually drafted him. Spencer wasn't part of it, but me and some other college buddies had like a redraft league going. In his rookie year, I drafted him. And he was like the RB, like he's like top 3 running back. I was like, this guy's absolutely insane. Yeah. Does it all for you. So I love Saquon Barkley as a player. I saw a lot of value there. Devonta Smith, I had really high hopes for him this season.
Yeah,
he's still young, obviously. He's a stud at Alabama. He's been great for Philly.
Heisman.
Yeah, no, he's great player. I still think the sky's the limit for him. But obviously it's a little bit tougher with AJ Brown being there. Desmond Ridder. So all I needed Desmond Ridder to do for me was to continue to be a starting quarterback and, have like not even a great season, but an admirable season. I thought with the additions of like Saquon and Devonta, I would be in a good position to win, but not the case. I just needed him to be anything but what he was.
Yeah.
He got benched for Heineke.
Yeah, that's there's some passionate Falcons fans, and I mean, there was a lot going on too. So, I mean, going into the season, I mean, you make this big move, you get rid of you get rid of all your, your starting quarterback. How did your kind of expectations go? It looks like you ended the league 7-7, right about 500. Did that kind of exceed your expectations? Obviously, not what you're hoping for with, a trade like that.
Perform below expectations. I really thought that if I got adequate QB play and I didn't need elite level QB play, that I could at least make the playoffs and make a run. Because think about it, my receivers after that would be like, just looking at that trade would have been Stephon Diggs, Cooper Kupp, Devonta Smith, and then I would have Saquon, Rashad White, Pacheco, Ramondre. Like, I have plenty of depth and plenty of weapons at wide receiver to roll out, so I didn't think I needed elite QB play. But Desmond Ridder really just torpedoed the fuck out of my season, so that was great. Single-handedly, almost.
Yeah, that's definitely a tough one when you especially watch Josh Allen hurdling dudes and running, 9 million yards for a touchdown.
Desmond Ridder's warming the bench.
Dude, especially, as Spencer, you just rejoined us, but I was saying, like, I didn't think I needed elite QB play. Like, I needed Desmond Ridder to be good and solid,
right?
And I think I would have been fine, but obviously it wasn't. So
yeah, I mean that's what happens when you trade away a top 5 QB, like
number 2 overall pick.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to trade him to get somebody as good as him back. You're trading him because you're like, hey, I need depth. Give me a shittier QB and some bench pieces or people that I can start. You got Saquon and Devonta. We're going to pay off dividends still.
Yeah,
who are on the same team now, but
yeah, that's true. You saw something. How'd you know?
I love Saquon though. Saquon's
I've definitely been in Kramer's DMs trying to send just some absolute scraps and hope he'd move from him. But if it's still on his team, clearly I haven't had much success with that. So
I won't lie, man. I was like really debating when he was staying. Like he was still on the Giants. Like at the end of last season, I was like, man, do I just like sell him and then he goes to the Eagles? I'm like, nope, dude. It would.
Yeah, do you ship that burden off or
yeah.
Because no one's going to pay that price when he's still on the Giants and they have just no future.
Yeah.
You put him on the Eagles, though.
Different story, man. Different story. They got great offensive line.
So as we keep going down the list, big trade here, Jalen Warren, Greg Dortch, obviously that kind of happens. The first swap with my co-host Spencer here. And then we gotta touch on this one. We got to touch on this one right here. CeeDee Lamb for George Pickens in a 2024 first.
I'll be right back, but keep on talking because, God, looking at this, wow.
Yeah. Obviously this was, for context, this was, right around the time where.
I think that's like right before the trade deadline, right? Or like a week or two.
Yeah,
maybe a week before.
I believe so. Yeah, October 16th. So. It was around there. So it was kind of starting to get to that midseason push where, I mean, you sold high on Pickens at the perfect time. I think he was coming off back-to-back, like 20 bombs.
I'm a huge Pickens fan, though. I love him. He's got...
Yeah, it's just...
What do the kids say
I
now?
am not.
He's got aura? Yeah. Is that what it is?
Yeah, he's got Riz. Yeah, it's just... it's just one of those things where it's like, I just could not stand Kenny Pickett. I mean, you had Kenny Pickett, you had the revolving door with Kenny Pickett. He's wearing 2 gloves. I mean, dude should just be grabbing like hand warmers at that point. I mean, it's just absurd to see. So
Teddy Bridgewater, call him Teddy too.
Hey, I respect that. I respect that. What I mean, kind of.
There's not much to say about this trade other than it's a straight fleece. But
yeah, I completely agree. Did you kind of propose that to Loring, or was there a little bit of back and forth, or how did that kind of whole negotiation process work?
There's always some back and forth. I know Zach is a huge George Pickens fan, like myself.
Sure.
And I really wanted CeeDee Lamb because I thought, CeeDee Lamb's obviously an upgrade. And where did you finish at? I think that
I know that's what I was just looking because that was at October 16th.
Yeah, 8-6.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah. So I think Spencer's pick was probably a little bit more valuable at that point than it ended up being.
Sure.
Yeah.
Not to dog on you or anything, but
no, I was looking at my team and I was like, I don't know how I made the playoffs with this team.
Yeah.
I was super happy with the trade. CD, I think, averaged like 40 or 35 points a game for me the rest of the season.
Yeah.
He was just a dog, man.
Yeah, he was absolutely nasty.
I can't wait for this next
I remember
trade,
seeing that. Yeah. So I guess kind of moving down the list, here's another big one too. We talked a lot about Goofball and his draft hype when Spencer took him, 105, fourth round.
You guys
so
touched on that a lot because Spencer got a lot of
Yeah.
shit for that.
Not the
yeah,
trade.
we recapped that, but not too much to trade. So I guess I kind of open up to you guys and kind of, how did that process come to be?
I needed a better QB because I think this was around the time that Desmond Ridder just wasn't cutting it.
Yeah.
And I mean, Baker had played really well. I didn't have a ton of faith that he would keep it up and finish the season the way he did. And it's more of an all-in move because I wanted to make a push to make the playoffs. So that's why I didn't really care about getting rid of JSN. Because, after the CD trade, I got CD, Devonta, Cooper Kupp, and Diggs. So, and I got Marvin Mims on the bench who I really liked still.
Yeah.
So, I probably
you could still pan out.
I won't say probably. I did lose that trade, but Goff is still on a super good team. It'll be there for a few years. So.
Yeah. Yeah, that Lions offense is pretty disgusting
it
too.
Hurt, though. It hurt when Baker just continued to be really good.
Yeah, and then he got that $50 million extension in the offseason. I mean, Goff will be bigger and longer, but
sure,
Goff is still the safer QB. But
I think they need to pay. I think he's going to get it.
They will. I mean, him and Amon-Ra right now, they're both in talks for extensions and new contracts. So I bet that they both will get paid handsomely. They should.
Mm-hmm.
They do have.
Goff had better numbers than Mahomes this year.
Yeah. How do you feel about that side of the trade? Your return for Goff there, Spencer.
I love it. I still love it. I mean, I have JSN on my team. I have Baker on my team right now. There's actually been a couple of people that have been inquiring about Baker, which is kind of nice. But
interesting.
Now, after trading away the diamond in the rough, Jacoby Brissett, I need to to keep Baker. I think, but
this guy right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my DMs are always open.
I guess if I could pose a question for both, a former owner of JSN and a current owner of JSN, what is the path that you guys envision for JSN to finally live up to the hype? Is it, Tyler Lockett, either grows hair or retires, or is it, something with maybe Sam Howell unlocks his true potential, or what do you guys kind of envision, JSN living up to that college hype he had?
You want to go first? You want me to go?
Yeah, I think Tyler Lockett will have to leave the team personally because Seattle, with the way they have in the past, at least, it could change going forward if they bring in someone else to call plays, but they primarily run two wide receiver sets. So that's why they've always had two super good wide receivers. So I think it'll take Tyler Lockett moving on to the team or retiring.
Sure. Spencer, any thoughts?
I agree to the extent. They re-signed. I was very disappointed being a heavy JSN owner. He's only 22 years old, and I still think that he'll do good. He showed flashes of being that guy that can fulfill Lockett, but then they went ahead and slapped a 2-year price tag on Lockett. But the more that I did research, it looks like that they can get out of that after a year if they really wanted to. So I don't know. At worst, JSN's going to be 24 going on 25 by the time he breaks out, which is just fine. But it just blows being an owner, just having to wait. Because no one's going to pay that price right now, obviously, which I don't blame them. And no one really wants to pay the gamble, which I also don't blame. So with JSN, you're kind of in a hold now and wait, and hopefully his value, or maybe he'll take over Lockett's position. Who knows? Lockett's deal is pretty wimpy when it comes to receivers.
Yeah.
I don't see him taking over. I think Seattle has a lot of respect for Lockett because they drafted him. He's been a Seattle lifer, just like Doug Baldwin was, dude. He's like the reincarnation of
Adam Thielen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey.
Yeah. Trade away that home dog.
Sure.
Vikings have.
I don't know. We'll just have to. Yeah, Vikings need to do something, but I think that there's still hope for JSN. Sure. He's still so young, and they'll have. I don't foresee them, especially now, going for another receiver in the next 2 to 5 years. So,
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
I'm old.
I think this is a website I've kind of shared in our sleeper chat in the past, but I think it's pretty cool. It may look small on your guys' screen just because of how I'm sharing it, but it's basically just one of those big trade maps for all of kind of the moves Kramer's done from last season and into this offseason too. So
what is this website?
It is Dynasty Daddy, # no free ads, but you're able to just kind of type in your username and share it too. So, I mean, you can look at some of the other team names. I don't want to get, read too much into the Kyle Rittenhouse team name or, Trey Lance Lever 69, but I mean, it's pretty cool to kind of see and visualize, you got CeeDee Lamb for Pickens and, what do all of these things kind of turn into too. So, I guess maybe the last
Jaylen Warren for Greg Dortch up there on the right.
It is. That was a scrappy one. Yeah, I think you were disconnected when we touched on that one. But I think, in the interest of time, if there were,
we don't have to.
Yeah, we don't have to. I think really the last.
You lost that though if you gave up Jaylen Warren, which I'm pretty sure you did, didn't you?
No, I got Jaylen Warren.
You
did?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I know Logan's got him right now, so you had to have given him away. Yeah, dude, you traded away Jaylen Warren for Greg Dortch.
Did we do the trade and then trade back? Is that what it is?
Oh, that could be.
Oh.
Because I think Simon wanted Jaylen Warren, and we wanted to piss Simon off.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right.
Sure.
That's why there's probably 2 arrows.
It's just league politics,
You always got to be a part of it. In terms of, I guess maybe the last trade I'd highlight here is this Cooper Kupp one. I believe that was between Spencer and Jacob once again. I mean, you guys love talking back and forth, Cooper Kupp's getting old. You at all worried about that, Spencer?
No. Well, yes, but I mean, you kind of have to when you're trading for a guy like Cooper Kupp. I mean, he's either a league winner or he's. I say headache, but even looking at his games last year, I think he played in 8 games. I want to say maybe 7, but in 6 of those games, he averaged 25 plus points. So I guess when he's healthy, I'll be starting him, and hopefully he doesn't retire after this year. But he's no longer the WR1. Puka has that now. Yeah. A full year with him and Stafford. I mean, that kind of buries that in the sand.
I think Kupp's biggest thing is being injury free and available. Because So the year after he won the Triple Crown, right? I was a Kupp owner at that time, and I had him when he won the Triple Crown, and then the next year he was on pace to have a better season, and I think he tore his ACL week 5 or something. He was averaging 25, 26 points per game.
Yeah, he was absolutely nasty.
This dude's playing out.
Talking about this guy,
mind, dude. Yeah, dude. Cooper Kupp is sick, man. But I thought it was a good return for me because I have plenty of running backs I can play, and then plenty of wide receivers outside of Kupp. So I was happy.
Sure.
With it. I think it's a win-win, depending on how Kupp does.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how it shakes out, and as we kind of look towards your season, second year of Maidenless, trades have gone down. I would be remiss if we didn't bring out the calculators. Has you penciled in right here 8th out of 12, according to Keep Trade Cut, including full team and picks. When we sort it by players only, does it give you a little bit of a bump? No, you actually go backwards. So I'm curious, do you agree with this? Do you disagree? What are your thoughts kind of as you go forward into the next season of Maidenless?
I respectfully disagree with this because I don't think this factors in the fact that Mike Gesicki is tight end 1 on the Bengals, and that I have Irv Smith Jr., who's a future Hall of Famer, sitting behind Travis Kelce. So,
sure.
But the QB rating is fair. I'll give it that. For sure. Tight ends, it fucking hates me, bro. What?
Yeah.
Dude, this game
Keep Trade
Cut still has Jared Goff right above Rachaad White.
Very interesting.
Just do
live feeds.
No, this is all courtesy of Keep Trade Cut. So if you can just kind of plug in all this information, it'll give you
all live, brother.
Crowdsourced rankings, man.
What's the value for Mike Gesicki? Just out of curiosity.
Well, I may have to keep scrolling down.
There he is.
Oh,
he's above Winston. How is he above Darren Waller, dude? What?
Oh, yeah, I do have Darren Waller.
There you go.
Forgot about that. Dude, my Titans are sick. What?
Yeah, if only it was tight end premium, right?
Well, yeah. That'd be pretty cool.
Dog shit, dude. What do you mean?
Dude.
Yeah, tight end.
Dude. Bro.
Ranked 12th.
People do not understand how good Mike Gesicki was before he got traded to fucking New England.
New England.
He does hit the gritty.
Dude, New England ruined him and Hunter Henry. They ruined both.
Dude, look at those tight end values. So sick.
Yeah,
those are.
You don't get a tight end that's worth a pocket lint.
Yeah,
I don't understand how Noah Fant's ranked higher.
You do have some strong running backs, though.
Yeah. One thing I would kind of look at here is your draft picks. So there's a fun segment we like to do on this Maidenless podcast called the Predictions Palooza. So if you kind of had to think about, no rookie picks for 2024, have you looked much into the rookies for this class? If so, who's your rookie GOAT that you think will be the awesome stud, the Puka Nacua of this year? And who will be your rookie fraud?
Ooh. Damn.
Bold takes are welcome. Bold takes are welcome.
This year?
Yeah, for 2024.
Yeah. Damn, that's a loaded class, too.
Absolutely.
Rookie
Why you think?
Rookie stud,
I'll say mine here.
Brian Thomas Jr.
Ooh.
Dude, stud, you said?
Yeah, stud, because I don't think he'll get drafted at the first round. I think he could fall to one of the Bills or even maybe the Chiefs at the end of the first round. I know it's still a first round pick, but dude, he would be a top 5 wide receiver draft prospect in literally any other class. You can say that for a lot of players in this class. I think he'll go late enough. Well, yeah, I think he'll go late enough that he'll go to a very solid situation that needs wide receiver, and he'll be a stud for him right away.
Sure.
Yeah.
Him and Malik Neighbors tore it up at LSU.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And at the worst, he's a 21-year-old, 6'4", big-bodied receiver. So it took Nico Collins 3 years. It could take Brian Thomas 3 years. But
on the opposite
Nico
end,
Collins is 25.
Fraud. Who's on fraud watch?
Ooh, JJ McCarthy.
Ooh,
let's go.
Interesting.
Let's go, dude. You're not alone.
I just don't believe in him. I was very close saying Caleb Williams because he's going to go number 1 overall, and the expectation there is that you become a franchise QB. And I mean, he has all the tools there in Chicago now, which they should.
Yeah.
My humble opinion, obviously.
Very humble opinion.
They should have given Justin Fields a shot with this team, but I get that next draft classes aren't looking to this draft class is so fucking loaded. If you're gonna do a franchise changing move, it would be now. Yeah. You draft Caleb Williams. But
yeah.
I'm not as high on JJ McCarthy as a lot of people are. Dude,
sure.
I would be shocked if he went in the top 5. I don't think he should, but I'd be shocked.
Sure. If you had to guess right now, ended the season last year 7-7. What is your record prediction for this year?
14-0.
14-0.
Now give the real one.
Give the real one.
Yeah, don't hide. Don't hide.
Contender or pretender? What do you think?
Lord willing, of course, I hope to be a contender this year. I'm really hurting at quarterback, though. So if I had to say based off my team right now, I think I'd finish 1, maybe 2 games above 500. Nothing flashy.
Sure.
That's what I did last year.
5, I think, at best, with the team as it is right now.
Yeah. I like it. Do you think there's any chance, a lot of talk about a pretty highly touted quarterback class, no picks this year. Do you sell the farm and maybe try and load up and get one of those top dogs?
I do have a pick this year. I have 203, but you're talking first round picks.
That's not getting you a QB, brother.
Yeah, that might swing the needle for you in 2027.
Yeah, hey, have fun with Bo Nix, buddy.
Yeah, Boomer Bo might help you out in few years, but
I'm not gonna reveal who my pick would be there if someone's there, but because that's proprietary information, obviously.
Yeah.
I would love to move up into the first round. That's probably the only way that I would sell any of my like high-end players right now, like a Stephon Diggs, like a CeeDee Lamb, like a Devonta Smith, Saquon Barkley, is I would have to receive like at least probably like a early 2024 first. But other than that, I'm happy with the team I have. They're a bunch of established guys, so
nice. That was going to be our next question. So are you rolling into this season kind of, these are my QBs, this is what I'm going to do?
I got
because you have Stafford and who else on your team right now?
I got Stafford and Goff.
Goff.
Goff. Okay. That's right. All right.
Goff, and then I got.
I feel like that. Yeah. What do you mean, dude? You were definitely a contender with that lineup.
Thank you. Unless CD holds out for 2 months. In my opinion.
You know what? That's very valid. Your team is back to being dog shit.
I mean, my team has not changed much from the trade deadline, and I don't know. Yeah. I can't not without looking at it, I can't remember if it was purely schedule based like that. I didn't really make it, but I mean, I finished at 500, so clearly it wasn't enough last year.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it shakes out. Are there any kind of, as we, we've been already talking for quite a while. We could talk for another hour and a half, but want to, try and not bore all of our viewers if they've gotten it this far. So, I mean, is there anything else you want to say as we kind of part ways and look forward to the rest of the future? Any shots you want to throw at someone in the league? Do you think someone's a fraud? Do you think, there's any trades, someone in your DMs you want to expose, kind of give us the floor.
DMs, Jake Simonson, stop sending me fucking shit ass trade offers. First of all, second off, fuck the Iowa Hawkeyes and roll clones. That's it. That's all I got.
Very good. There you have it, my friends. Thank you for listening. That ends our first off-season interview with Mr. Kramer. Good luck next season, my friend.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you, boys.